Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. There is one more industry we want to have a closer look at, the aeronautics sector. And I'm looking forward to getting to know deeper insights from our next guest. He is Chief Operating Officer at Airbus and a member of the company's executive committee. In this position, he is responsible for production, quality management and procurement for the commercial aircraft business. Welcome, Mr. Michael Schöllhorn.
Thank you. Dear ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, dear political leaders, it's a great pleasure to be with you today. Our society and our aerospace industry are facing an extraordinary situation. And while we are doing our best to master these unprecedented challenges, we also welcome yet another opportunity to shape the future of and with a strong Europe. At Airbus, we share a passion, a purpose to pioneer sustainable aerospace for a safe and united world. This, of course, entails pushing the whole industry to scale up its digital transformation. Allow me to start by reminding you how the journey began for us. Our story started on 29 May 1969, when the French transport and the German economics ministers signed an agreement on the so-called A300 program at the Paris Air Show. This marked the birth of Airbus, a bold undertaking launched an unparalleled European success story. Over the past 50 years, Airbus has delivered more than 12,000 commercial aircraft and some 12,000 Airbus helicopters around the world. In the world of space, an area that is considered to be more and more strategic, we are number 2. From underdog to targeted icon in the industry, we are now in a head-to-head competition with industrial players supported by economical and political superpowers, or to be clear, the US and China. In our growth and development, we have gradually embarked our partners, customers and suppliers alike into more collaborative design and innovation, industrial real-time monitoring, and in-services product support. Along the way, we have faced ever-increasing threats, and cyber war has now taken a new dimension. Our employees and our partners are under daily attack, and we have deployed one of the largest security infrastructures in Europe. So if we want to unleash even greater innovation and success together for the decades to come, we must be able to rely on a safe, secure data backbone hosted and operated in Europe. Bringing to the world decarbonized flight, our big aim, is no small feat. The technological breakthroughs that are involved are well beyond the means of one single actor and require intense collaboration across different sectors, and as well breakthrough technological progress in IP generation. It is therefore also a race, a merciless competition between technological, political, and economical giants in which Europe must stand a chance. Europe has shown to the world before what it's capable of when it sets its sights high and ambitions high and puts its heart to it. Now's the time to do it again for the decades to come. Something is going wrong here. We in aerospace have been faced many times with the choice to go for either cloud services or keep operations on our own on-premises solution. The trade-off always involves flexibility, cost of ownership, but specific constraints of our industry are in some cases forcing our hands towards less efficient solutions. Most competitive cloud services, and you know them all, and software as a service solutions like the Google Suites, Office 365, Zoom, Workday, you name it, are all offered by non-European companies. This, of course, puts the European aerospace companies in a delicate situation when considering the compliance and data confidentiality and cybersecurity of operations. It triggers complex negotiations with these solution providers as we each lack bargaining power compared to these hyperscalers, not to mention potential GDPR liabilities, IP concerns, exposure to export control laws, the US Cloud Act, etc. This has resulted in a rather slow adoption of pervasive digital solutions in the industry At commercial, our first public cloud contract only occurred in 2016. Our data governance management is difficult and very costly. The incremental cost to address export control represents and can represent about 5 to 7% of revenues of a specific business. Gaia-X is creating and has to create new conditions for the aerospace industry to simply benefit from the full scale of cloud-based operations. The aerospace industry and Airbus as such is currently represented within two verticals, mobility and Industry 4.0. As you know, aerospace is an industry of products with very long life cycles. We also have a very tight and prescriptive certification process and a highly regulated industry. In each country of operation, we have the normal GDPR export control rules like many other industries. On top, we have aviation regulations coming from EASA or FAA, the European versus the American regulator, the Chinese CAAC, many others, ICAO. And then on top, we have specific regulations related to maintaining specific approvals, which we call DOA and POA, which is design and a production authorization. This leads to all aerospace actors to put in very strong and specific corporate governance frameworks separately, which inherently constrains tight cooperation and integration. Other aerospace-specific challenges and needs include the seamless integration of and the collaboration with multiple partners for design and simulation for engineering, operational logistics data of a global production network, in-service data processing and feedback loops of our connected products. This requires, for instance, a clear ontology and federated data catalogs. As a consequence, we feel that in the current verticals in which we may take part, aerospace specifications and specifics might not be sufficiently addressed. While our industry defends its European leaderships in the face of US-Chinese competition, we need to build a strong European digital base to address challenges head-on. We have set bold ambitions for this industry, and this needs collaboration that can only happen in a very efficient and controlled environment, tailored to a set of very specific constraints. I want to give you two quick examples to illustrate that. Something's not working. This first example goes back to the constraints and related heavy management processes of export control in our business. Export control regulations have recently been reinforced, with US and China economic tensions being the latest trigger. Airbus is running its business across the globe with its 24/7 support of operations, and so has the liability to run offshore activities in a compliant way with regards to each national export control regulation. We thus look at Gaia-X to provide a shared platform that embeds all needed features for unified, holistic, and operational compliance management. We also believe that other industrial users of Gaia-X could benefit from the export control embedded features. The second example is high-performance computing, or HPC. Currently, several large cloud providers are actively developing and promoting the use of HPC resources on cloud. A typical use case for us is computational fluid dynamics, CFD. Computational analysis tools have revolutionized the way you would design engineering systems. But most established codes are proprietary, and proprietary codes limit collaborative design. Each of these providers enforces the use of their own solutions for managing the HPC workload and the associated workflow. Switching between those solutions often implies big data transfer costs, complex data policy rules implementation, and adaptations of workflows. Our industry needs to further standardize HPC workload management, and namely bespoke standards and solutions for managing a very large amount of data, usually associated with large simulations, and B, complex and highly optimized scientific software stacks in the frame of HPC as a code. Going forward, if we want to foster the use of simulation conducted with an open source solver on a public aircraft configuration, then we need a robust framework that allows that with strict user access rules and granular data policy rules. This topic is therefore highly relevant for Gaia-X and for our aerospace industrial. So to efficiently design, develop, and operate future zero-emission aircraft or sustainable space. Let me now end this presentation on a renewed call to Gaia-X and to like-minded aerospace leaders to come together and pave the way for a stronger digital European future. We think that an aerospace vertical would be necessary to fully leverage the existing landscape of very advanced and powerful solutions that various actors of the industry can contribute. For instance, engine manufacturers with power by the hour, shared ontology and data catalogs, different existing sovereignty solutions, and others. All OEMs, all stakeholders, suppliers, operators, national and European aviation authorities, business stakeholders, and universities would only benefit from joining forces, because nothing in the end beats the speed of trust. So if you want to share and join us in this journey, please contact us. Thank you very much for listening, and thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much to Mr. Schellhorn and all our other speakers. It was really inspiring to listen to you.